Good evening, book lovers of the internet, or afternoon. It's 6:30, not quite sure, but hello, welcome or welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe because for every subscriber, I get a new subscriber, and I also read a page from a book of my choice. In this video, I am going to be reviewing a short story by Roald Dahl, derived from the collection Madness, Tales of Fear and Unreason. And it's been a while since I made a video reviewing one of the stories from this collection. In fact, I think it's been since April, the 8th of April, since I reviewed Landlady, which I rated 4 out of 5 stars. In this one, I am going to be reviewing a story called Dip in the Pool, which is about 15 pages long, and I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. So I found it to be very suspenseful and well written, but honestly, there really isn't much to say. I feel as though Dull relied on the reader to draw his own conclusion, and I'm not sure whether it's because he is a lazy person or because he just wanted the suspense to have more of an effect, but the reader had much more of a difficult job putting everything together than the author did. And in fact, I feel as though Dahl was as minimalistic as he could have been with this one. So basically, it has to do with a man who, with the people on board the same ship as his, bets on how far they would travel within the next few hours, and like the rest, tries to make a quick buck based on the weather. So they're on a ship, they are trying to determine how far they'll go, and based on how far they will actually travel, they will get. The money that they bet on. Basically, there is this pool as well. It's also funny the title, Dip in the Pool. It can be understood in several ways. Dip in the pool. The main character could have been in a pool. Then he also, there will be several spoilers ahead, so click away if you don't want to get spoiled for the story. But yeah, later on, he basically decides to jump into the Atlantic Ocean, and I think he probably freezes to death, but we aren't told any of this. So when he realizes that the ship will travel much further than he'd originally anticipated, since it is no longer as stormy as it was, or as windy rather, the main character, called William Bottibol, tries all within his power to delay the ship in order to win the money anyway and not lose any of it. I mean, £200, I believe, is not a joke. And all he wanted to do was to make his wife happy by buying her some sort of car with the money, I believe, but this didn't work in his favor at all. One could argue that it was a calculated risk, and yet it didn't work to his in his favor at all. It probably took his life. So he decides to jump off the side of the ship, and he kind of manipulates an old lady by speaking to her just to see whether she would be able to call for help the moment she sees him jump off the ship. But as it turns out, this was a decrepit sort of person, and she didn't really realize the gravity of the situation. She didn't call for help, and the man probably just died. But once again, we're not told. We can only assume. And it's just another day for the old lady. Apparently, she didn't realize there was anything wrong. She thought the man jumped off the ship intentionally. She didn't alert anybody, and by the time she would have, it would probably have been too late anyway. So um, I can't blame her for not understanding the context because she didn't really participate in the pool, so she didn't really have any negative sort of intentions. She didn't really want him to die, but she just um, didn't understand the situation completely. And yeah, he thought the old lady would save him and he'd be able to make a lot of money, but she just didn't, and the story ended there quite abruptly. Probably the second he hit the water, I believe he probably um, passed away just a few minutes after. I'm not quite sure whether I feel bad about this or not. I feel as though he kind of deserved what was coming to him. He took a big risk and he basically gave his life away. And it's always money that's the problem in these situations. Basically, don't gamble. Not a good idea unless you have money you can throw away confidently. And I mean, very unfortunate thing to happen, but I suppose he did get what he deserved, considering that he is a rather manipulative, despite cunning person. He just, yeah, wanted to make his wife happy, and money posed an issue. So I still do wonder whether Mr. Botibol froze to death or somehow made it out alive. I don't know how he would have been able to survive. He'd have to swim thousands of miles, and there probably isn't any help nearby anyway. So, my best guess is that he died immediately, kind of like the victims of the Titanic did. And I'm sure that his wife would have probably killed him regardless if she found out how much money he lost. And I don't think this man really had a choice. I think um, he would have died anyway. He didn't really have much of a future ahead of him. But that is all I had to say about Dip in the Pool um, by Roald Dahl, which I should tell you is a story. Um, Give me just a second. A story that was published in the New Yorker in 1952 on the 19th of January. I have all the details here on page 168. So yeah, I think it was a very clever story overall, but I didn't rate it. Um, I didn't give it a higher rating because I feel as though I did most of the work. Dell was very minimalistic, and we didn't really get a proper conclusion. And I'm kind of pissed because I kind of grew attached to Mr. Botibol and wanted to see what would happen. And I wanted the story to um, be completed rather than left open ended. I wanted to see how it would possibly go on, but it just didn't. And I know I'm being petty here in a way, but I mean, asking for a fully fledged story with such short stories somehow seems to be like asking for too much. Anyway, that's it. Basically, if you enjoy the video, make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out the rest of my content because why not? It's absolutely amazing. And I will see you in the next one, hopefully, very, very soon. Bye, guys.